From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
This is the breaking news at noontime today. The push is underway for fourth stimulus. Meantime, third stimulus checks will be landing tomorrow if you're a veteran. And some veterans have now seen those deposits land today. I'll have the latest detail. Meantime, surprising conflicting reports out today. First, Johnson & Johnson takes the markets down and supports more stimulus across the board. As Johnson & Johnson goes offline in the vaccine fight, but the CPI number comes in very strong. Conflicting details is growth for one sector and concerns of lockdowns on another side. Meantime, big news across the board as stimulus is coming in the form of EIDL grants. The EIDL grant, $10,000 you may not have gotten, is coming. The PPP grant is coming. The Shutter Venue grant is opening. And student loan debt forgiveness could be just a breath away. All this exciting news and more as we go into a big noontime recording of Noontime LA. Good noontime, everybody. It's LA. Boy, Wall Street is getting pulled left and right with conflicting economic data today that impacts your stimulus, third stimulus, fourth stimulus, and away we go. Thank you for joining me on a big noontime broadcast. I have so much breaking details across the board. Hope you are good and safe. The White House has had 2 live feeds today. And the live feed that impacts you was a talk about Johnson & Johnson. More about that coming up in a second. But how are you? I hope you're having a beautiful midday. And if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, the link's at the top of the chat. And the pinned comment, become a member, Hawk, Calcino VIP, or also Purple Power. Boy, away we go. First, let's go over third stimulus. Third stimulus checks started to land today by direct deposit, I can report. If you're a veteran, those direct deposits started to land today. And no less than about 2 weeks ago, I was the only one reporting that tomorrow, April 14th, is the magical wave 4 for $1,400 third stimulus checks for veterans. 4, 4, and 4. Wow. But the big details is that those checks are starting to land today. Yes, I've had some veterans said, thank you, LA. I have my funds available today. So who's getting funds tomorrow? Who's getting funds ahead of time? If you are Comerica Direct Express by Comerica, that funds are available tomorrow if you're a veteran. If you are in individual banks at the big bank like Chase or Bank America, those funds are available tomorrow. If you are smaller bank owners like Chime or Cash App or Green Dot, any of the companies I've detailed on this channel for the last couple of weeks, those funds should be available by now. So if you don't see them by now, they're coming by mail check. Finally, the mail checks are about 2 weeks late for everyone, so stay calm and stay patient. No reason to ask where it is. It's 2 weeks late, so it's coming. Then, finally, if you do receive a direct deposit of a third stimulus check today or tomorrow, send me a DM on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram if you are not a veteran, because I'm wondering to see if there's some non-veterans that are getting stimulus checks this wave this week by direct deposit only. Way we go. All right, let's cut to fourth stimulus. What a day it's been. We started the day with news that went left to right. Remember, economic data that shows the economy is not rebounding or not reopening as soon as possible or not growing as quickly as possible supports stimulus. On the other hand, economic data that shows we're growing faster than predicted does not support stimulus. So there's conflicting data every day. And I told you the day was going to start with a strong CPI number, and it did. So this is how we started the day. The consumer price index number came in, and it was Great economic news does not support stimulus. The number came in at its highest year to date since August of 2018, 2.5% year to date compared to March of last year. Highest growth since 2018. Clear indication of mounting inflation across the board, said analysts. This is as last Friday, the sister or brother to the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, was the Producer Price Index, and that number came at the highest in 10 years. What do these numbers show? Growth. Economic growth. Highest economic growth in 10 years. Okay. That's really strong economic news. Yeah, it's really strong economic news. So where did we go after that news broke? To the Johnson & Johnson news. So what's important for you to understand about the Johnson & Johnson news is not so much what the FDA said or the implications of Johnson & Johnson medically, but its impact on the economy. The immediate impact on the Johnson & Johnson news that it's going offline, at least temporarily, for purposes of distribution in the United States by FDA ruling, impacted the economy immediately. And that impact, ironically, again, now helps stimulus. Why? The immediate reaction on Wall Street, and this reaction will change over the next few weeks because it's not going to be a one-day deal, is that the reopening is not happening as quickly and not as robustly as we had thought. So that means we need to support the economy with stimulus. What was the immediate reaction? Well, the day started with trading down on travel. Travel industry sectors immediately took a hit on the Johnson & Johnson news. The start of today's trading showed Carnival down, the cruise industry down 2%. Norwegian was trading down 2% on the news of Johnson & Johnson. The hospitality section of travel also took a hit. On the news of Johnson & Johnson, Marriott and Hilton started today's trading down 1%. You can also understand how it also showed the impact on the FANG stocks. Remember, FANG stocks are stocks that are based upon us staying on lockdown. When you're on lockdown, you watch Netflix and YouTube. When you're on lockdown, you bought on Amazon. Well, the push came out of reopening plays like Carnival and cruises and hospitality. People got out of those thinking we're not coming out of this as quickly as we thought, and back into lockdown stocks. FANG, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google all up about 1% to 2% early today on the news that Johnson & Johnson had been paused. So what does this mean? It means if we were going to do force stimulus right now, you'd have incredible great support for it. Even better economic support than we could see, because suddenly, one, the economy is not rebounding as quickly as possible. Two, the method to reopen the economy is now derailed slightly. And three, Wall Street thinks we're not reopening quickly. If you're not traveling and you're not going on cruises, then they trade down. They think we're staying much where we are a little bit longer. That's really great support for forced stimulus. So yesterday, the White House was asked about the situation before Johnson & Johnson hit, and they said, we're far from rebounding. Now you have even more support for that as well. What's important to understand, though, is one of the messages maybe I have not made clear, but I want to make clear today, is that as a Purple Power, as the viewers of this channel, Purple Power, you need to push now. I went on Instagram yesterday, and I made it very clear, you are not pushing. You are not pushing. And I think it may be my fault that people have looked at the graphic of when the stimulus checks would start in July, and I think some people think the bill starts in July. I think they think, well, maybe it starts in June or starts in July. I have a couple months before I'm pushing. No, here's the issue. The push is for reconciliation, and the push is to start reconciliation now. There's both a mechanism push, you want it by reconciliation, because that's what gives you stimulus checks. A bipartisan bill doesn't. And you want it to start now. Why? Reconciliation takes 2 months to do. It takes 2 months to do. And that's best case scenario. I mean, it could be 2.5 months, but it takes 2 months to do. So you want that bill starting now. Leader Schumer, Speaker Pelosi both said they want the vote for it for finality in July. Well, you absolutely have to have it for a vote in July. Why? Because they go on vacation in July. They go on vacation from July to September. To September. They're gone to September. You don't want this sitting around from July to September. If it does, it would implode. It could implode because by September, the economy could be rebounded. You need to push Purple Power, and pushing starts by sharing this video on social media, tagging your Democratic senators, tagging your Democratic congressmen, senators, and House members, and reaching out to those cabinet members who have been detailed in those presidential videos over the last few days, saying, we need to do it by recon. We need to do it by recon, and we need to get it going. Now, here's the important thing to consider, is that the president's going to give, maybe about the end of this week, next week, a little bit more of that bipartisan effort. Yeah, that bipartisan effort. But then when Mitch stays where he is, roasting the lobsters and singing the Mai Tai and hoping to go on vacation again, and says, I'm not giving you climate. Then at that point, well, he's already said that once or twice. When he says the third time, the president's going to understand, okay, it's time to do it recon. You need to push to get this president to do it by recon, because recon is the only real path for this package to do it, those stimulus checks. Now, there's both a Senate path and there's a House path. They can work together or they can work in modification of one another. Let's go over how the two would work. First, the senators want to do the stimulus checks from now to December. The House members want to do it from now to the end of the pandemic and then add in an extra year. So those House members want to go much longer in time than the senators. Then, who are these people that are supporting it? Well, the senators are leading Democratic heads. They're elder statesmen. They are part of the movers and shakers of the Democratic Party. The House members are progressive Democrats who are new members. They've been in Congress for less than 10 years. What are the amounts at stake? Well, the House members are talking about $2,000 for the first month and $1,000 every month thereafter. Senators, unknown. They haven't said the amount per month. But look at this graphic. And let's just let that graphic sit on the screen for a second and just look at it. Boy, insiders say that the senators want to give you $1,400 a month or $2,000 a month. If they got this to law in June and got those checks going out in July, that would be 6 months of checks. 6 months of checks of any dollar value is a lot of money, folks. 6 months of any dollar value is a lot of money. Even if it's $1,000 a month, it's $6,000. It's a lot of money. But insiders say they're thinking about $1,400 to $2,000. This is per person. This is per person. This is the single biggest payout you have ever seen anytime on this channel. And this is for all individuals who are watching right now. Whole room is filled with Purple Hawks. Wow, what a big group in the room. Those Democrats, those senators want to pay from now to September. Those senators, the House members want to pay, a year plus. They want to go to the end of the pandemic and then add an extra year. But the senators, they want to do to the end of December. Any amount, this is a huge amount. This is the biggest single payout for anything we have ever covered on this channel. If you're just seeing this for the very first time, understand the magnitude of the message that this channel is delivering. Who gets it? You make $75,000 or less, it's you. If you make $150,000, married couple or less, it's you. If you are a household four people or less, there's that number 4 again. It's you. If you're on SSI, STI, it's you. So the big issue, of course, is the monthly speed that we get this out the door. Every month there's a check, you miss a check. Economic rebound, you don't want that to happen first, and you don't want the jobs to be back. Now, some people see these numbers and say, oh my goodness, that's a lot of money. It just seems like a lot of money. And I remember 2020, and I remember everything that happened in 2020. I got to say to you, you see the window behind me? Take your memories of 2020 and throw it out the window. Why? The president has told his cabinet members that he wants to take the child tax credit that became law under the third stimulus package for just COVID of $3,600 starting the month of July, $300 a month. He wants to make that a lifetime benefit. And he wants to do that in the fifth stimulus package coming out in September. He wants to pay everyone $300 a month from age newborn to age 18, which is $64,000. And he absolutely is adamant about paying it. So this is a person who, when presented your fourth stimulus package bill for the senators, who want to put in their monthly stimulus checks and give you maybe $8,000, $9,000, do you think he's going to veto it because do you think he doesn't want to spend money? No, he loves to spend. He wants to spend $64,000 on children in the next stimulus package after this one, the fifth one in the September. I'm not even covering that one yet. So do not think about 2020 when things were very cheap and we didn't spend a lot. Oh, no. This is a whole new universe. And yesterday, thank you, John, for becoming a Purple Power. Everyone welcome John Hahn to the family. Yesterday, the White House said we need to support the economy. And the White House cited this data, cited the continuing jobless claims. Here is the data the White House is relying upon. And the data is correct. I mean, they're correct and relying upon this data. They say we need to support this economy. It's not fully rebounded. What did the White House press secretary say? Continuing unemployment claims, 23 million Americans unemployed week to week. They're not getting off unemployment. They can't find a job. Some of them are long-term unemployed people. 700 to 750,000 new unemployed people per week, newly unemployed per week. California and New York, which is sort of defying logic. California is adding 40,000 new people unemployed per week, even though California has the largest reopening situation currently in the country. We have the most vaccinations and we're reopening faster than ever. You would assume there's a lot of jobs. No, more people are going on unemployment in California than any other state. It shows you the economy is not rebounded. And this was before the Johnson & Johnson news today. The Johnson & Johnson news is not so much an issue of, this and that about the virus and this and that about the vaccine. The issue is its impact on travel, its impact on consumer confidence, and its impact on spending. Meantime, on the other side of the gamut is a strange other twist, which you're only going to hear from this channel. There is not one, but three bubbles that middle America, Main Street America, you and me are thinking that are about to burst. And whether they are about to burst or not is not the issue. It's that people think that the economy is not stable enough because of that pending burst. What are they? I'll have the details for you in just a second, but stay with me. I'll have all that surprises about the possible bubbles bursting and what they are coming right up after this commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Noontime LALATE. Hope you're great and wonderful. It's a big day of a lot of exciting, great news. Coming up still in this recording is the third stimulus check landing in bank accounts tomorrow. The fourth stimulus, monthly stimulus checks. More about that in a second. The $10,000 grants that are landing in bank accounts this week, and the $50,000 of student loan debt forgiveness about to happen. Wow, a lot still coming up. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Give this video a lot of likes, people. Don't forget to like the video. During the commercial break, one viewer who actually has now been put on to timeout said, Ashley, referring to another viewer, Ashley, I've seen the bill. There's no stimulus checks in there. I don't know where we get these people. One, the fourth stimulus package does not have a bill. It's not been written. Thank you for that contribution. There is no bill. It hasn't been written. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Troll. Number two, the president is not putting the stimulus checks in the bill. If you've been a viewer of this channel, if you're a Purple Hawk or Purple Power, which that viewer was not, obviously, the president is not putting the checks in the bill. Here, let me explain something for people who don't understand things like that person. The president is the president of the United States. He leads the executive branch. He does not create laws and he does not write bills. He writes proposals, which what he did with the third stimulus package. He meets with the legislators, says, I have a proposal. I want you to write a bill for me. And that's what they do. Only congressmen write bills. And that is what happened with the third stimulus package, as what's happening with the fourth stimulus package. Congress, when they do a reconciliation, will have a two-step process. The first step won't have anything of any substance in there, won't even have a bridge in there. The first step will be to agree to do a reconciliation. It starts in the House and then goes to the Senate and then goes to the President. No substance in there. That's actually a bill. And it doesn't have anything in there except agreeing to do a recon, nothing else. The president signs it off. Then they go back and then they send things to subcommittees and they determine what's going to be in the bill that's actually going to be finalized, the tow hitch. It's at that point that they start with the proposals of the presidents and they add things in. Two paths that can add things in. The House Democrats can add things in, or the Senate Democrats can add things in. What's important to understand is that much of the big, really great stuff that you've heard on this channel in the last few weeks came as add-ons by the legislators to the third stimulus package that were never proposals from the president. The $10,200 of unemployment that is tax-free, that was an add-on added by the legislators, not from the president. The stimulus checks that ultimately got out the door and the manner in which they done, those were modified by the members of Congress. The incredible great item, which is the student loan debt forgiveness is not a taxable event, that was added by the congressman. And other things like FPUC modifications, those were done by congressmen. So away we go, and understanding that the president is not talking about stimulus checks because that's not his agenda. His agenda is infrastructure, climate, and raising taxes. And with that, the Democratic leadership will add things on there. President will not veto it, add things on there when it lands in their respective body. So let's cut back to the other big exciting news coming today. Earlier today, the White House went live and told Americans that Javita Carranza's, Javita Late's successor in interest, is having a press briefing today about all the wonderful money you can get from SBA for a business. Well, I have some exclusives you're only going to hear on this channel starting right now. If you applied for that 2020 EIDL grant, well, congratulations, because the remainder of your $10,000 EIDL grant is landing this week. Yes. So let me explain how this happens, and let me explain how this will work. The remainder of your $10,000 EIDL grant is finally coming in an invite from SBA. And you're only going to hear this on the channel that it's not coming in chronological order. Not in chronological order. The EIDL grant was open March to May and then closed and then open for 1 week in July. What's important to know is that July applicants are getting invites before March applicants in the same exact zip code. They're first doing all the low-income based community businesses first, and then they're going to do everyone else. So watch for that invite. Next, the Shutter Venue Grant now live. It was live on Friday and the website crashed. It's at sba.gov. Go apply for it. It is not just for venues. The PPP grant is now back live as well. The president assigned an executive order extending it. You reach out to that for Fundera, Cabbage, the individual lenders. They are the intermediary where you apply for them. And the restaurant grant is about to go live as well. People have been asking me, what about that grant to go start a new business? Never happened. And then some people have been asking me about the EID loan. How do you go get that? It's been live the whole time, never went offline. It's been live all along. That's at sba.gov. And now, as reported on this channel about 2 weeks ago, you now can get an increase on a prior SBA. With that, we got more exciting news, and the exciting news comes from Warren and Schumer. And that big push from Warren and Schumer is kicking into high gear right now. That big push is coming right now. You know, someone just dropped a really good comment. I think it was Ashley. She said, "Thank you for throwing that person out." There seems to be sometimes one person that wants to jump in and says, "You're not getting anything, live with it." And it's very, so if you see something like that, someone that's trying to rain on your parade with false narratives and false information, just call them out if I don't see them, because ultimately we're about information here. We're not about folklore and no, not even folklore, fake narratives saying that there's bills out there when they're not. Okay, so now the exciting great news is that this Friday is when that education secretary is due to deliver that memo. The president instructed that education secretary to, within 2 weeks, and 2 weeks is this Friday, to prepare a memo about the validity of the president forgiving your $50,000 of student loan debt by executive order. That memo this Friday, I'm reporting that's likely to say, yes, you can forgive student loan debt by executive order. In a video detail on this channel before, Elizabeth Warren says that the president has complete authority to do it because Obama did it and Trump did it, and hence Biden can do it. Ultimately, if she is in fact right, which she usually is, that determination could come this Friday. The magnitude of it is enormous. This would include both current students and prior students. Debts of any age, as long as you wish, up to $50,000. We don't know if it includes both private and publicly held debt, student loan debt, but we believe it does. And it would be automatic. It would be big across the board because people who have these student loan debts have been precluded from buying homes, buying cars, starting businesses. So this is a big event that a lot of people are watching for. Meantime, what about those bubbles? What about those bubbles? I hate to burst your bubble, but what about those bubbles? Well, a new report today said that one of the number one search terms in the month of March online was, when is the housing market going to crash? Wow. So people think that the housing market is currently a bubble. Now, whether they are correct or not is one issue, but they think that the housing market is a bubble and they think it's about to burst. That's bubble number one. Bubble number two, it's getting very bubblicious on this channel. Bubble number two, a new report out today features a Bank America survey. Bank America surveyed its customers, and 74% said that they think cryptocurrency is a bubble and it's about to burst. Oh boy. Meantime, that notion and that idea will be put to a test tomorrow as Coinbase goes IPO tomorrow, again 414, another big IPO, the biggest IPO perhaps of the year. It's a cryptocurrency IPO. And no one has ever seen a cryptocurrency IPO of this magnitude, of this nature ever. They say it's a very rare event, and it could signal whether we are not in a bubble or are in a bubble. What does this mean for your stimulus and your economy and your financial freedom? Ultimately, if people are perceiving a bubble is looming, that ultimately that gives support for stimulus. It also gives support for the notion that we're not as stable an economy as we may think. If people on one side think that the housing market's about to crash, people on the other side think that the The cryptocurrency market is about to crash, and you have a lot of people worried about lockdowns, whether it's a particular state in the Northwest, or 50% of the United States now seeing a resurgence of the virus, or those huge unemployment numbers, which you saw early in this videos. There are concerns about certain bubbles across the board. That is a more means and more reason for stimulus. The big news for tomorrow, of course, is my excitement for my veterans. Tomorrow, April 14th, Wave 5, those stimulus checks will land by direct deposit. If you do get a direct deposit tomorrow or today and you're not a veteran, send me a DM. I'd love to hear who or what your background is and what you got, because I want to see if tomorrow is a fix-it round for anything besides just veterans. I do know veterans have pending deposits for tomorrow. I've gotten DMs from veterans. But boy, a lot of exciting, great news. And of course, this coming Friday, we'll see if there'll be another round of stimulus going out. Hard to tell yet. But thank you for your incredible, great questions and comments. I've seen some of them in the room. And you absolutely have done a great job today and yesterday. Here's what you need to know, the big recap. First, third stimulus checks for direct deposits landing today and tomorrow for veterans. But we'll see if that includes more people besides that. Second, if you are waiting for a mail check, they're about 2 weeks late, so give it some time. They're still coming. Number three, the push for fourth stimulus got an unusual, strange help today, and that help is the concerns that the reopening of this economy is not as robust or not as soon as initially perceived. Travel industry stocks are down today on the Johnson & Johnson news from FDA. That helps stimulus, at least for now. So that's the push underway. The fourth stimulus has no bill. It has not been written. And the push to get it by reconciliation is underway. You want to push Purple Power. Push, push, push. Take this video, tag elected officials, senators, and House members who are Democrat on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Call them up. Also contact the cabinet members saying, we need to do this by reconciliation. I understand the president wants to do bipartisanship, but let's get it to recon and let's get it out the door. July's around the corner. It takes 2 months to do this bill. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. EIDL grant invitations of $10,000 are landing. The other business grants are now landing as well. Shuttered venue and such. Go to sba.gov to apply for them. And finally, the big exciting news about student loan debt forgiveness is just around the corner. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. I'm going to take your hand, just hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. None of this 5,000 viewers in the room and 2 like stuff. Let's not do that. And with that, stay informed, stay focused, stay positive. And I thank you for all the wonderful fun and love. And guess what? Tonight, LALATE's back. Yes, she is back. She is back tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, or 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Central Time. She is back for a doubleheader. One video, you stay in there, you're teleported to the next video, a double dose of LALATE back in the mix. Bring your scars. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay in LA for more.